Hello, my name is Milagros Rubio and I am a tenure lecturer in the Department of Applied Linguistics at the Universidad Politécnica de Valencia. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the causative in English. Before I start, I want to present the learning outcomes, or in other words, what students will be able to do after we revise this structure in English. Right, so after watching the video, students will be able to construct the causative with get and have to express that something is done for the subject by somebody else. Students will also be able to use this structure in all the tenses. And students will also be able to use other causative verbs such as have, get, make and let in their corresponding context. Okay, so let's get started. Right, so we are going to start by looking at one specific structure, which is the have, get, something done. Right, let's have a look at the sentences we have in here. In the first sentence, someone washed my car yesterday. This is a sentence in the active voice. If we want to express this in the passive, we would say something like, my car was washed yesterday. However, in English we have a more sophisticated structure to express that somebody has done something for us. And normally we start this structure with the subject. So we could say something like, I had my car washed yesterday. Right, so what this means is that I did not wash the car myself, but somebody did this for me. So the structure of this, the way we form this structure is as follows. We need a subject, okay, I. We need the verb have or get, okay. Then it's followed by something, okay, the action that is going to, the object that is going to receive the action. And then we have the past participle. Remember that the past participle is the verb in the third column in the verb list. So you can say something like, I had the bread cut into loaves at the bakery. So it's really not important who cut the bread, but the important thing that you want to express is that somebody did something for you. Right, so when do we use the causative in English? So as I said, when something, okay, is done by someone. So someone does something for us. In this case, we need to think about the type of services for which we pay money. For example, we have our car repair, okay? We have our plants water, Mike had his mustache trim, okay? Or we normally have our hair cut. Right. So let's have a look at these examples to illustrate the use of this structure. So let's imagine that Mary is pregnant and she needs to paint the room and clean the room for the baby. So you can say something like, Mary had the room painted and cleaned yesterday. So we don't really care about who did that, okay? So the important thing is that somebody did something for her. Or Mike's car just broke down, so we can say Mike is having his car repaired today. So notice that this sentence is used in the present continuous, okay? Because it's a planned. He has arranged to have the car checked today. Right, you can also use this structure in a future tense. Sheila will have her eyes tested tomorrow morning, okay? Or you can even use it in past tenses, for example, past continuous. So were they having their photo taken when it started to rain? So these are some examples of this causative structure, have, get, something done. Right, there is a slight difference in meaning between get and have. So get is used in informal situations. We can say, where do you get your hair cut? Okay, but there is a restriction. You cannot use get in present perfect tenses. So in those cases, you need to use have. I have recently had my hair cut. And then finally, there is another interesting use of this structure. We sometimes use have, get, something done to express that somebody did something bad to us, or something we didn't really like, or something that was unexpected or a surprise, but not a nice surprise, a nasty surprise. So for example, we got our laptop stolen, or we got our tires slashed by some hooligans after the match. Right. Okay, and now there are other verbs in English which are also called causatives, and they can be used as causative verbs. these are have, get, make, and let. Right, so we are going to have 3 different contexts and 3 different uses. So in the first one is when we want to express authority, we want to express who is deciding, okay, or who is boss. So let's have a look at the examples. If we say John cleans the windows for me every week, basically we're just saying that John is the guy who's doing the cleaning. However, we can express this with a causative verb. We can say something like, I have John clean the windows every week. Or we can say, I get John to clean the windows for me every week. Just notice there is a difference in the structure. We have I have John plus the bare infinitive, infinitive without to, and I get John plus the to infinitive to clean the windows for me. Right, so in these 2 situations, what is the difference between these sentences? Well, if you pay attention, in the second and the third, John has become the object, okay, and I have become the subject. So the main difference is that I am expressing that I have the authority to make things happen, okay? So I can have John clean the windows. I have the authority over John. Right, you can also use the verb make, but in this case, the authority is even stronger. So if you say, I make John clean the windows every week, it's like he has no choice, okay? So just remember that we use this causative when there is some sort of authority relationship. Right, second related use is when we use get plus an object plus infinitive, okay? So there is another context in which we can use this verb. And in this context, what we are expressing is that we persuaded people to do something for us. For example, I got them to pay for the hotel. So you kind of persuaded them, but initially they didn't want to pay for the hotel, okay? But you got away with it. Or you can say, I got Sarah to lend me some money in the end. She didn't want to, she said no, but in the end you kind of persuaded her. Or they got the seller to reduce the price. So in the end they convinced the seller. So there is this element of persuasion in this context. Right, and the last one is when you force someone to do something, okay? So there is a stronger attitude, or you allow somebody to do something. But in any case, you force someone to do something, or you allow them to do something because you have the authority. Okay, so again, we have to think about situations where there is authority going on. So my father made me eat the vegetables. Well, he has the authority to do so. Or you can say their boss made them work extra hours. So basically the boss is the boss, so he has the authority. And when we use it with the meaning of allow, you can say, my boss let me have the day off. Again, because he has the authority, he can do it. Or they let us try the ice cream for free. Okay, so this is the situation. Right, so to recap before we finish, just remember that we can use the causative verbs in English in different structures. On the one hand, we have the get and have something done. Okay, when somebody does something for us, okay, we normally pay them to do that. And then we also have these other causative verbs to indicate that we have the authority, that we can make things happen, okay? Right. So now we're going to get some practice. Here you have 5 sentences, and I want you to pause the video, write down your answers, and you can check the answers later, okay? Right, so let's have a look at these examples. They say my hair is growing grey. Okay, so I have or I get my hair colored every month. You could do it just on your own at home, but the normal thing is to go to the hairdressers and they have them color for you. Number 2, something is wrong with the washing machine. Okay, so tomorrow morning I am getting it checked tomorrow morning. Okay, so you have arranged that somebody is going to check the washing machine. Number 3 was Marshall got his phone stolen while he was at the match. So remember, this is something surprising, something you didn't expect, something you didn't like. Number 4, I will have the porter take your bags up to your room right away. So yes, the context will be a hotel and the person has the authority to have the porter take your bags up to your room. Okay? And the last one, number 5, we finally got the seller to reconsider the price of the house. So this is a use of get as a causative verb in which you kind of persuaded the person, okay, to do what you wanted. Right, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. So thank you very much for your attention.